Oh, I just got off the phone with my dad. It's so emotional every time we talk, seriously. Ah, so I was like, okay, I should probably talk about it, but unfortunately for me in my life, it's me, myself, and I. So my YouTube channel was my solace. Um, wow. All right, so my dad's 77. I'm 47. And he's what I call a good egg. Like one of those people that just, they got a good heart. And he is that way. Little background. My Nana left Nazi Germany in 1938 and married my Polish American grandfather, moved here to the States. My dad was born in 1946, and when he was a teenager in high school, he dropped out of school and enlisted in the Navy because my grandparents had split up. So my Nana was working three jobs and trying to support three kids and herself, uh, post Depression age era. So my dad felt the dutiful call to help. And he's done that ever since. He got injured when he was stationed in Hawaii while he was serving in the Navy, so he was honorably discharged. And he has told me many times that if he would have never been injured, he would have made a career out of being in the Navy. So, after that, he was trained as a master electrician in the Navy. Yet, when my parents moved to Florida, my dad could not support a family on the wage that electricians, even a master electrician, uh, Annapolis trained and all, he couldn't make enough. So he applied at the post office. And that's what he did. That's what I remember growing up. And my dad retired from the post office after 32 years of service. It's the only branch of the US.gov that is service oriented. Those are the real heroes we should be thanking for their service, besides military people, veterans. So, today's Mother's Day, and that's my mom. That's my mom. And I lost her in 2014. So today is Mother's Day, and it's not the greatest day for me. Not just for that reason, but my sons are 25, 22, and 19, and none of them, have anything to do with me anymore. So, factor in the fact that I work a retail job And everyone's like, thank you, happy Mother's Day, happy Mother's Day. It's like a dagger to the heart each and every time. And I serve hundreds of customers a day. So, all my dad really has ever known is serving his government and serving other people. That's pretty much all I've ever known either as his daughter. TBH. And we had quite the conversation today, and I wanted to ask him something because well, I asked him about when I was born. And I told him, I'm sorry, I'm so stuffy. I was crying and I don't really know how to say everything on video. I'm just being guided to do that. And I know I need to anyways. It's just I can't always find the words all the time. So bear with me, if you will. So, I asked my dad off topic because, I mean, the man's 77. I was like thinking, how do I know if this might be the last time I ever get to talk to him? I better find out what I need to know because, like my mom, I might not have the option to ask him one day soon. So I just bit the bullet and I asked him. And I said, Dad, can you tell me about when I was born? And I asked him because the reason I'm wondering that is because I know there was a blizzard going on, but I just wanted to know if you were there when I was actually born. So he proceeds to tell me the story, which I've heard throughout my childhood, but I didn't really pay much attention to before, of course. So I was like, all right, well, break it down for me. How did it happen? What happened? And he was like, okay, so your mom went into labor. There was a blizzard. So you and your mom went in the ambulance, me, obviously, in my mom's belly. And he said, I followed in the car behind you. And he said, I had a CB radio. And the storm was so bad that the regular lines were knocked out, but we could still talk on CBs. And he goes, I got a bunch of truckers on there. And he said, yeah, my wife's about to give birth to my daughter and this and that. And he said a whole bunch of truck drivers and everything were wishing him well on the CB. I thought that was pretty cool. So then he tells me, but when you were born, he said they still had birthing rooms. And then he said when your sister was born 2 years later, they had a labor and delivery area that he said I could go in. But he said when you were born, they didn't have that. They had separate areas, one for labor and one for delivery. I was born in 76. So he's like, yeah, I was there in the waiting room. I got to the hospital after the ambulance. And there was a couple of other guys in there whose wives were also expecting. So he said, we had a few things in common. I said, oh, that's cool. And then he told me I could hear things, but I couldn't go in there. I wasn't allowed to go in. And I was like, well, what did you hear? And he's like, just different noises and stuff. And he said, but the one thing that's the same between you and your sister is when your sister was born, they handed her to me first while they cleaned up your mom. And he goes, and with you, your mom had to be knocked out. So not only was she in a separate room, but she was unconscious. So when they brought you out, he said, I was the first one to hold you out of me and your mom. So I guess I could share why this news has me feeling an emotional certain kind of way, but I won't just yet. For the simple fact that there's some fuckery going on right now with algorithms and feds and ops and all that trying to hone in on certain particular people. So I don't want to give too much away, but there's the story of my birth, and my mom's gone, so I can't really ask her what she remembers about it. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. I'm one too.